gymnastics, obviously, stereotypically in the past, has been a more female dominated sport in terms of like the assumptions that are made around gymnastics.
Yeah.
So what's your kind of opinion on, do you think that's changing?
I think it is definitely changing. I think the ratio has definitely leveled out more. Obviously, there's still more girls than do it in the grand scheme of things than boys at the moment. But boys' participation has gone through the roof, and I think that's purely down to results. If they're not being around the bush, I think results has definitely brought more participation levels into the sport. And on the men's side, we've brought back quite a few good results over the last kind of 10 years. I think that's had a massive impact. I think if you're a young boy looking to start gymnastics, of course, for me, standing in my position, I've been able to do something that I thoroughly enjoyed doing from the age of 7. I love gymnastics. I love being a part of it. I love competing. I love training. Every aspect is amazing. So in terms of getting involved, whether it's been inspired by the Commonwealth Games, any moments, or just want to start it and haven't done yet, what's incredible is, we are now a funded sport by the National Lottery, which is where we've been able to go on leaps and bounds for over the last kind of 10 towards 15 years. And I think, the results that keep rolling in is proof of what funding and support that we've had. It's absolutely crazy. I think ever since kind of London 2012, we really wanted to take upon that role. The whole thing was inspire a next generation, and the impact that London 2012 had on a nation as sport as a whole, but especially for gymnastics, it was crazy. The sport isn't the same as when I started. It's just completely at a different level, which is incredible. And to think I've been a part of that, I played a part in that, and it's crazy to think that I can have that impact by doing something that I love. But it's huge, and I think taking upon that roll upon my shoulders now ever since London 12 and the whole team doing the same thing, I think that's a massive reason why the sport has gone on leaps and bounds. Social media has its negatives, of course, but social media has huge positives, and that's being able to kind of see that journey, but actually be able to message people, anyone of any level or anything, any result, anything, just send a message and they might get back to you. It's crazy because the impact that that can have on a young child that might have a few words of encouragement by their idol is unbelievable to have that access. Every little helps. I think when you're on a journey like that and more boys are getting involved, yeah, I think the publicity, the awareness, the profiles on social media growing in terms of individuals as organizations and everything, I think that's only helping the sport, which in turn is going to help more boys join. We had a golden era in 2012, all the right people, right time, but it's about the team, it's about the staff around it, the medical support, the facilities, the athletes actually now being able to focus purely on their sport. We have funded facilities all around the country, which are popping up gyms, popping up other sports venues. So actually the fact of a kid feeling inspired, that journey of feeling inspired, wanting to join the sport is a lot easier now than it used to be. If you're a young athlete and you don't have that backing, that support, but you're trying to compete against the rest of the world, but you don't have the same opportunities and it's not level playing field because of those reasons, it's going to be very hard to compare and bring back results for the country.
Growing up, when I was in secondary school, yeah, a lot of people would say, yeah, gymnastics for girls, and I'm sure like the participation for girls and boys in gymnastics was just so crazy high numbers for girls. But I think nowadays I feel like that's switched completely, or grown in the male side completely. I think people that do say wouldn't know whether to join it just because they thought it's for girls. I'd say it's so untrue. The amount of boys that do gymnastics and that are into the sport is incredible. And I think just like you say, go watch the Commonwealth Games and watch us do our stuff. It's really for both men and women. And I think what we're doing on the boys' side, trying to change that. Feel like people like Max and Lewis have made that switch where gymnastics is cool. It is something that girls and boys do like and can enjoy.
This time was a completely different experience. Obviously, being the home crowd, there was a lot of expectation from myself going in. Wanted to go in and retain my title on the bars, and we also really wanted to get a team gold. But we went out and did our job, so just really happy with that. So yeah, and stuck with it ever since. As soon as I sort of stepped foot in the gym, I fell in love with the sport. I think there's always so much to learn, so many challenges, and just overall such a good building block for other sports and just life in general.